I added a new last name, so I can't be out here running slow. They're gonna be like, see, never,
Take it
you
back.
know what I'm saying?
Go back
Yeah,
to the
they're like,
MJ.
Right.
exactly. They're like, she done got married, she done got comfortable. Like, no.
Yeah.
Trackside episode 6. I'm Perdita, and that man right there is Aaron Brown, fresh off his Scandinavian tour. How you feeling, my friend?
I feel good. I'm back in America where I train. It wasn't the greatest Scandinavian tour. Back in the day, in 2018, that was the first time I ran sub 20 in Oslo. And then in 2019, I got a Diamond League win there. I didn't have such luck this time going overseas, but that's the name of the game. I'm dealing with a little bit of a right hip flexor issue, and I try to power through it. It just wasn't my weekend, First off, in Oslo, I finished 6th. Didn't have a great run. Time wasn't anything spectacular. Tough run out of lane 2. And then got to Stockholm, and to be honest, I wanted a little early start on Father's Day, get back home, and I went before the gun. I just was a little too hyped up. But that's okay, because even though I didn't have a good tour in Scandinavia, it's always nice to travel and come home, because my family was here waiting for me. They made me nice little gifts for Father's Day, put a smile on my face, and let me know everything's gonna be okay. And that's all I need to get back to training and focus on the bigger picture.
This is the thing. That is all that matters. And I love that you have such a good attitude and a little bit of humor about it, because you just live to race another day, and that's all you can do. Okay, let's start with the craziest news that broke this week, because who saw this coming? I certainly didn't. Grand Slam track is over. Finish, finito, caput. This is it. They canceled their very last meet. They didn't even get to LA. This is wild, is it not?
I didn't see it coming, I'm gonna be honest. And it's a bit of a letdown. It deflated a lot of track fans, because there are a lot of matchups we're looking forward to in LA, especially coming off of Philly. I got my Grand Slam shirt on, so I'm still a supporter, the one that I got in Philadelphia.
Nice.
That meet was fantastic, and we're just building up so much momentum for a beautiful crescendo in Los Angeles. But it wasn't meant to be. And, it sucks. The vibes is definitely a lot of people saying that they ran out of money, and the statements that the Grand Slam track put out didn't really put out a lot of fires and give a lot of details. They're kind of sparing with what they were saying and about what happened. But they are optimistic. They did get a new sponsor, and that new funding could be what buoys them for next season. So I'm remaining optimistic. I know that we're all waiting for the payouts to see to make sure that all goes through. But I'm optimistic about that, and I think that they showed a lot of great things in their first year, and it sucks that it ended on this way, because on this note it kind of seems like disappointing. But overall, I think the first year was a success. Even though they didn't get to all 4 of the meets, I still feel like they did a lot of great things that they can learn from, and next year is going to be even better.
You should really be a politician one day, because you just really know how to make everything sound so good. Well, to help us break it down further, here's Morgan Campbell, a senior contributor at CBC Sports, an award-winning sports writer. We just had you on a few episodes ago, and we were all singing the praises of Grand Slam and its success. But what the heck has happened since then?
From the explanations I've seen from CEO Michael Johnson in public, he seems to be finding a lot of really fancy ways to say that they ran out of money. That seems like the bottom line. The details he gave was that if they had gone through with this event, given the lease agreement they had with Drake Stadium at UCLA, and given just the cost of flying athletes in and paying the winners, they would have lost $2 million. They didn't feel like losing $2 million. And so they decided to cancel the event. But a couple of things people need to remember about sports startups is that you have to be prepared to lose money. It does not matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how well-known the league is. If the 3 of us somehow come into $6 billion and manage to buy an expansion NFL team, that expansion NFL team is going to lose money in its first few years. You have to be ready for that. So either they weren't ready to lose money, or they weren't ready to lose that amount of money. But again, just the explanation sounds like a really, really fancy way of saying, we ran out of money. We thought we had money for 4 big track meets. We had money for 3 big track meets.
I mean, I've been an ardent supporter of the Grand Slam. You see, I got my Grand Slam shirt on, the one that I got from Philadelphia.
Nice.
I'm still a big supporter of the league, and I'm a believer. But I gotta agree, it's a little strange the way that it came out, and we haven't got a lot of details. And so I'm optimistic, I'm hopeful, but at the same time, I can't doubt if people have some skepticism towards the future of the league, but they make decisions to benefit the league in the long run. And I think this is just another one of those. And if it turns out that next year things are even better, they learn from this year and they grew, we're going to look back at this like it was just a growing pain and a stepping stone towards building the foundation for a healthy league in the future.
So MJ puts out the statement. He's like, "Oh, in full transparency, I want to be transparent." But like transparency was not in the room with him or any of us. Like we still don't really know exactly. Like we're speculating. Morgan, do we need transparency? Do sport fans deserve transparency? Like what do you take about him not saying exactly what it was?
Well, you know who's going to need full transparency next season is the group of athletes that they target to try to sign up to commit as racers for next season. Because like scrolling through Instagrams, which is what we all do all day, guys, when we're not working, just for the audience out there. We're just like you. We're just on Instagram all day. But Grand Slam Track is posting, they're posting, it is an Instagram feed of somebody who misses their ex. Because it's all these posts now of, oh, a year ago today we were signing Sidney McLaughlin. 9 months ago today we were signing Kenny Bednarik, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, if those athletes were not on multi-year deals, to go back to Sidney McLaughlin and Levrone, to go back to Kenny Bednarik and say, hey, commit to us for another 4 big track meets for another season, when they ran out of money the first year, they are going to need some transparencies. They are going to have to take all that prize money, all the travel expenses and everything else, put it in escrow and let people see that it is there before people sign up. I would think, like Aaron, if I was you, I would say, hey, look, I need half that money up front. Show it to me, and don't give me a check. Don't give me a bank draft. I need that
Straight cash, homie.
Straight, right. I need that in a briefcase.
Yeah.
Show me the briefcase and we can talk.
Yeah. I mean, look, you're right. There's going to be some hesitance from the athletes that want to sign on as racers. But as long as the check clears for this first round, these first 3 meets, the people that did sign on as racers, they get their appearance fees. I think everybody will be okay. That'll assuage some of the fears that people are building up right now. And of course, there's a lot of FUD going around, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And people are getting their jokes off. That's what the internet's for. So we go to the social media for the comedy, for the banter. But at the end of the day, business is business, and this is a startup league. They're gonna figure it out. I have hope still. Now, if that check doesn't clear, I might change my tune.
So wait, AB, are you saying the haters are not vindicated right now? Are you saying that they are not like, look, see, I told you so? Like, not saying no Lyles, but the others. What do you think?
I mean, look, Jay-Z said it best. We all lose when the family feuds, right? So at the end of the day, what do you gain to benefit by doubting the Grand Slam? We go back to the status quo, which was very meager prize purses for the athletes, not a lot of control, not a lot of excitement. The status quo wasn't looking great for the future of track and field. So I don't understand why we would want to be on that side of the fence. Like we could be optimistic. Maybe you're like, hey, I don't know if it's going to work, whatever. But voicing that and being a vocal opponent of the league, I just don't understand how that benefits you if you're an athlete.
It doesn't benefit you as an athlete, but you're talking like a man who does not understand track fans. I talk about this all the time. Nobody hates track and field more than track fans do, and track fans love something to complain about. I'm going back and forth. This is just how track fans are. So yeah, you show them something new, they complain.
You know what?
Show them something old, they complain. It is very difficult to please that group of people, but this is the bind that anybody promoting and organizing and investing in track and field on this continent is in, because you have a mainstream that is sort of indifferent to track and field except for a couple weeks every 4 years, and the hardcores are just so, God bless them, they love the sport, but they're also so cynical that they're just used to poking holes in everything that comes along, and that's very, 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 very tight needle to thread.
And that
I would just
go ahead, AB.
Sorry, real quick. I would just challenge that anybody that is against the league and is doing victory laps saying like, see, I told you so, I told you so. At the very least, if the Grand Slam never resurrected, if this is all we got the blueprint of what could be for the sport. And another league can come in with their funds and do the same thing, but better. And, Do we get an Athlos? Do we get the Ultimate Track League that's coming next year in 2026? Do we get Diamond League Plus events where they're giving a little bit more prize and money if we don't have this competition from the Grand Slam changing things up and shaking up the status quo? So at the very least, we got that. There's a blueprint, there's a model out there that there could be this higher level of track and field in the pro track and field from Grand Slam, and they gave us the blueprint. So
okay, last question. We don't have a lot of time, but you both gave midterm grades last time. We kind of lost the whole meet, so I guess this is the end of the term. But what grade do each of you now give Grand Slam based on the 3 meets and also the cancellation? We're going to factor that in. And also quickly, yes or no, will it be back next year and better than ever? Aaron.
okay, I gave it an A- last time, and that was the halfway grade. Now that we lost a meet, I have to come down a bit.
Deduct points.
But yes, I have to deduct a little bit, just a little bit. I'm going down to a B plus.
Oh, that's good.
I didn't go down much because I'm
bad.
still a believer. I still believe that the model that they showed is the future of track and field. I love the way that they were very athlete-centric. It made us, those are the closest thing we got to a union in track and field because they actually listened to the feedback of the athletes. They're very athlete-centric and they made sure that we felt, all of us, not just the headliners, all of us that were running, we all felt like professional athletes in the sport. They took the feedback, they changed, they adapted, and they made moves for the sustainability of the league, which makes me very optimistic, which goes to your second point. Are they going to be back next year? I think so. I think yes. If they weren't concerned with the future, they would have had that 4th league, maybe went broke, went under, and then there's no future for us even possible. But now the fact that they said, okay, let's cancel this 4th meet, even though it's going to make us look terrible, we're going to be concerned with the long-term health of this league, and that makes me bullish on the Grand Slam.
Well, you don't have that 4th meet because if you already understand you're going to be $2 million in the red, going ahead with that 4th meet is a very good way to get sued, and nobody wants that. My grade for Grand Slam track obviously is incomplete, and if Grand Slam track is the high school student, they're the student with all kinds of potential, but they don't really prioritize school, and you just got to pull them aside and say, look, young man, the sky could be the limit for you, but you got to apply yourself. You got to be a little bit more strategic about what you're doing. You got to watch who you're hanging around. So my prescription for Grand Slam track is summer school, and after 6 weeks spent sweltering summer school, pulling up the grades, maybe they can come back next year and make some B pluses and A minuses.
But all the great entrepreneurs of our time have dropped out of school. So there's always that.
That's the point. That's the point. Okay, we got to leave it there. Morgan Campbell, thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Morgan.
I love how we're not actually talking about anything that happened on the field or on the track. Hilarious. Okay, let's fix that because track and field fans were blessed with not 1, but 2 back-to-back Diamond Leagues. And listen, the results were so good. Let's start with Mondo. Why did this guy just set his 12th world record in 5 years? No, tell me. I'm asking. Yes, because he's that good. The Swede soared to 6 meters 28 in the men's pole vault. And let's put his dominance into perspective. He's a 2-time Olympic champion and has won 31 times in a row since August of 2023. Oh, one more thing. Mondo is cashing it in because every time he sets a world record, he earns $100,000. About there. So let me do some quick math. That's about $1.2 million since 2020. AB just for smashing records. Whew, that's a lot of money.
It's crazy. I know a world record hates to see Mondo coming, and those Puma executives, they probably are like the Ben Affleck meme where he's just stressed out and he's got the cigarette. He's like, oh, another world record. But, you know, it's a bittersweet moment for them because they signed a generational talent. He's one of the greatest track and field athletes we've ever seen. He can honestly be up for World Athlete of the Year every single year. It's getting to the point where it's like, okay, maybe you got to go to a different event, or maybe we got to handicap you. Maybe we got to, put something in your lane so that, the other competitors have a chance, or let's see what you can do in,
it blindfolded,
in the high
buddy.
jump or something.
Yes.
It's just greatness is just, it becomes monotonous because he just wins so many times over and over. What can't he do? Mondo is one of the greatest athletes we've ever seen in this sport.
Superman, Superman. Let's talk about Julien Alfred because I truly believe the Olympic champion has had the best week ever. Did you hear? At the Diamond League in Oslo, she met her idol for the first time. You know him, world record holder Usain Bolt. They talked, she got a pic. Then she goes out and wins the 100 meters in 10.89 seconds. 3 days later in Stockholm, she goes even faster. She drops a cool 10.75. Cool, I say, because she took her foot off the gas, just kind of coasted it in the last few meters. I mean, she's serious.
I mean, 2025 has been the year of Melissa Jefferson-Wooden, who we will see on this show today. And the only other girl that's been as hot as her is Julien Alfred. So she was in action, showing what she can do in the 100 meters, and she did not disappoint. She had her idol, Usain Bolt, in attendance, so she had to show out for him in fashion. She was exciting, did her thing in the 100, and now we got Prefontaine to look forward to. And as well, Julien will be on the show next week, so stay tuned for that. We'll hear from her and how she's been killing it since Paris winning that gold.
Yeah, and you're not lying because Melissa 10.73, and right under that, Julien Alfred 10.75, 2/100ths of a second. Okay, let's talk about the 400-meter hurdles. We witnessed back-to-back showdowns between the Olympic champion Rai Benjamin and his rivals Karsten Warholm and Alison dos Santos. Okay, first up, they started the 300-meter hurdles in Oslo. That's where Warholm smashed the 33-second barrier in a world best 32.67. Then in the 400-meter hurdles in Stockholm, it was Rai Benjamin who raced to a world-leading 46.54. But unlike the men's 1,500 meters and the 100, Rai said this: "There's no beef between the rivals." And I quote, "This isn't the UFC. We leave that to the 100-meter sprinters. They have that on lock right now." I mean, where's the snore emoji? Where's the snore button? I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I'm not a confrontational athlete either, so I can't really say too much about that. I
You're
think
boring
it's
too,
just a
is what you're
matter of-
saying?
No. I have other things that are interesting about me, as Rye does as well. But beef is not one of those things that I'm known for. Neither is Rye, and it's just your cup of tea. You know, if you want someone who's gonna talk some trash, maybe you go to a Josh Kerr, maybe you go to a Fred Curley or a Noah Lyles. But if you want someone who's just greatness personified, who just breaks world records and does his thing, wins golds, Rai Benjamin's for you.
No, I want the meat. I want the beef. Give me all the meats.
Joining us now on Trackside is my teammate and Grand Slam Racer of the Year, breakout star from the Grand Slam meets, Melissa Jefferson-Wooden. Melissa, how are you feeling?
Good. AP, how are you?
I'm good. I saw your practice, good vibes as always. It's good to see you on Trackside.
I know, it's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
We are so happy to have you. Listen, you have really been just a joy to watch because I feel like every single time you break the tape and you cross the line, like you just have so much exuberance and excitement. Grand Slam, I can tell you're really, really, into that league, but they canceled their last meet. But quickly before we dive into your questions, what's your initial reaction to hearing that news and knowing that they're not coming back for LA?
So it was kind of a bit of mixed emotions. Like part of me was obviously sad, but I wasn't like, oh my gosh, it's the end of the world. Like I didn't go to like, oh my gosh, are we ever gonna have this again? It was just kind of like, okay, if they're canceling it, it is for a reason. But I know like just the people who have their hand on Grand Slam, like it's something that they want to be around for a long time. And I think a lot of the times people forget, like, with startups, there come challenges, there comes things where you have to like just sit down and evaluate like, hey, okay, for the longevity of this is probably the best decision for now. Like, even though to the public eye, it looks really bad sometimes, but it's like in the grand scheme of things, it's going to work out later on down the line. So then once I like processed that part of it, I was like, kind of like, okay. And I was just happy. I was like, oh, wow, wait, well, technically I finished as race of the year. So worked out for me.
I know one of the big things for you this year was running the 200 more, and the Grand Slam gave you that opportunity to show what you can do in the 200. I've always known you as a 100 runner. I didn't
Yeah.
really know what you could do in the two. I was always supportive as your training partner, but I'm like, I don't know. But that 21:99 PR, that was huge. That kind of set a statement to the rest of the world. How have you been building up to the 200 this season? I know I've seen the work you've been putting in, but let us know the process of building up that 200 and becoming a double threat.
The beginning of the year, it was a lot of just really not taking for granted the longer workouts that we were doing, even though they sucked.
Mm.
I was just really trying to, be disciplined in that and getting it done so that when the time come for me to actually run a 200, like I wasn't scared to run it. That didn't make much difference though, because I remember it being like a month out from the first slam in Kingston, and I was just like, I don't know, guys, like I gotta figure out how to run this tutu. I can't be going on national television and embarrassing myself. So, but just Kingston was a really good slam. But Miami was the one where it was kind of like, okay, you have your Olympic gold medalists, you have your Olympic bronze medalists in there, and then you have other very well-renowned 200-meter runners in there. Like that's their thing. And so it was definitely an opportunity that I was like, okay, well, let me really see where I'm at. And so I went out there, I got out good, and I died at the end, like a typical short sprinter would do. You know, run the strongest 150 you can and hold on for dear life. And I don't think my body was ready for what I did. So it was like, I started swimming. But that was the beauty in it. Like I was able to still PB in that. And then just building off of that, I knew going into Philly, like, nah, this time they're not going to get me. So that's basically how I went about it.
I am so curious about your training camp and your training group. Like you are just all of you are like titans, right? At what you do. But you're with TT Terry. You're also with Sha'Carri Richardson as your training partner. What is that like? Like for you, like just the ego. Not saying you guys have egos, but you know the bravado, the competitiveness, the edge. How do
Right.
the three of you balance that? Like if you can just be real with us in this moment, like what is that like? Is it hard? Is it simple? Are you guys best friends? Like what is it like?
Yeah, well, it's like every training group. You have your dynamics here and there, but I feel like the thing about our group, which is so special, is that we all complement each other in different ways. And we lean on each other's strengths that may be somebody else's weakness, and we like basically take that and carry it through. So like I say all the time, like I feel like when we're at practice, especially on block days, like AB knows, it literally feels like we're at championships or getting ready
Right.
for trials or something like that, like on a daily basis. And not in a bad way. Like it's just
Mm.
it's a very good and positive like atmosphere to be in because it brings the best out of you. Like we'll basically be bouncing off of each other, like how we can make each other better. So it's good.
Iron sharpens
Well,
iron. I have a follow up question though. Aaron Brown, you said it. He said it. We know he's your training partner. But I want the tea on Aaron Brown, okay? Pretend he's not
uh-oh.
here. Pretend
Uh-oh.
you're not going to see him tomorrow on the screen. He's not your training partner.
Okay, okay, okay.
What is he really like? Like, what is he really like? Is he really this nice? Like, honestly, is he really this Canadian?
Don't pinch me, AB. No, actually, he is this nice all the time. Literally, the AB you see every day in day out when you guys are doing this, like he's the same person all the time. There's no put on a front,
But
nothing.
Melissa, is he not the oldest? Is he not an old man?
Hey. Well, we got to get into age.
I mean,
Who's the
I
oldest of the
can't
group?
really.
I am. I am.
can't, I can't talk because I'm technically the youngest in the group, so that would just be very biased coming from me.
You're the baby.
Yeah,
No, the
everybody's
year
the
he was
oldest
born
compared
is
to
the year he
Melissa.
was born. Like, that's a fact. AB, how old are you, anyways?
I'm 33.
Oh, yeah. In track
And they
years,
remind me of it every day.
that's geriatric.
I know.
Respectfully.
Anyways. Looking ahead to pre-classic, I know you're talking about iron sharpens iron, and your training partners, they're going to be there in pre-Fontaine with you, and it's obviously going to be fireworks. Everyone's going to run really fast, as the pre-classic is always one of the best meets of the year. But it's been announced that you're going to be running against Sha'Carri, of course, and Julien Alfred, the defending Olympic champion. So how important is this race? And is this kind of like a test for you going into the World Championships to kind of show what you can do, being the world leader and having run 10:73 already this season?
Yeah, so I'm excited. Like,
I love it. I love it.
I'm
Yes.
excited. I'm not gonna lie. It's basically gonna look very similar to the Olympic final for us for our race. Hopefully this time around, I'm on the top and not in the third spot. But I'm gonna just go out there and continue to do what I've been doing. Like I feel like me starting out the year with Grand Slam, going into meets where I run 2 races over the weekend, and then having a big training block in between to go back home and work on the things I need to work on. This time, I actually am really excited to see what it's like for me to, come from Philly with the big training block, but then go out there and just don't have to conserve any energy or don't have to feel like I have to um, be careful, not careful, but just like, you know, just lay it all out there because I only have one.
Conservative.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only have
You
one
f-
rep, so let's see where we at.
AB, anything else? Are we done? You got anything good? You want to admit anything? Was she right about you being nice?
I think she was right, even though maybe I slipped her a 5 before the interview just to say that to
I knew it. I knew
boost me
it.
up. But Melissa can sing. Okay, she sang at her wedding during her
No
vows, and that was
way.
the biggest shock of all. I've never
N-
been to a wedding where they did that. So
Nah,
for the world that doesn't know, this girl can sing. Do
no,
not
I
let her
need to
fool
hear a
you.
bar. I need to hear
Yeah.
something. No, you should never said that to me, Melissa. Girl,
Oh my
please.
goodness.
Just a little something, girl.
Um,
Hit us.
wow.
I know. It's that kind of show.
Because this is the thing, right? I was sing, I just don't know what to sing. Oh, Friday.
Okay. Here we go.
Let me find a Friday song. I got the song playing low in the background, just for some
Of course.
guidance.
Yeah.
Okay. Reference track.
Yeah. Because when the sun comes down, that's where we look up. Ooh, 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 ooh. When the sun comes down, that's where we look up. Oh, when the sun comes down, that's where we look up. That's where we look
Let's
up.
Woo!
go.
That's a trackside
Yeah.
first. Let's go. Melissa Jefferson-Wooden, you are a joy to watch on the track. You're also a joy to speak to. I'm so grateful AB asked you to come on. So AB, thank you for that. He should have sent you more than $5. He's very cheap, I've learned. But that aside, he's an amazing person. And we're so happy that you were able to come on and to say yes to this. And thank you for singing us out.
Thank you. Thank you guys.
Hey, she's racer of the year. She's got a lot more change than me right now. So
That's
five
fair.
was all I could spare.
That's fair. That's fair. Good
But
luck this
thanks
season.
Thanks for coming on, Melissa. I'll see you tomorrow at practice.
Thank you guys.
Ciao. It's time for everybody's favorite segment, In or Out. And Aaron, this week I only have one for you because it is
Bring it to me.
meaty. It is juicy. It's messy, it's beefy. It's all my favorite things, okay? So get this. Over the weekend at a last chance to meet in Cali, NFL superstar, you know him, Tyreek Hill, wide receiver for the Miami Dolphins, raced to a lifetime best of 10.15 in the men's 100. That is hauling tail. And Tyreek made sure everybody knew it too. Because after the race, what did he do? Oh yes, he held up a sign. It said, Noah could never. Yes, that is him calling out the reigning world and Olympic champion, Noah Lyles. And by the way, it came out this week that the two egos, the two men, had agreed to a head-to-head 60-meter race, but all of that fell apart due to quote, unquote, personal reasons. So AB, are you in or out on Tyreek Hill legitimately giving Noah Lyles the business on the track?
Okay. Well, there's a lot to unpack here. I'm out on him beating him in the 60, but I was very impressed by that 10:15. That shows that he has the potential, and the way that they both run, I think he would give him a run for his money, and it'd be closer than a lot of people would think in a 60 meters, especially given the fact that Noah Lyles hasn't opened up his season yet. We don't know what type of shape he's in. We don't know how his training's been affected. And Tyreek has clearly been in the lab working on his form. He's working on his sprint speed. He's in his off season, so he's not big and bulked up for the NFL season right now. He's primed and ready to go. He's clearly looking forward to this race. He had the sign, and I don't know. Maybe it's a good thing it got called off because, in my opinion, even being close to the world's fastest man or the person that has the title of that, having won the Olympic gold last year in Paris and even the year before that, winning in Budapest, you don't want the entire sport of track and field to be embarrassed by having someone who's coming off the football field, the gridiron, and being close to our allegedly fastest guy. So, I'm out on him beating him, but being close might be seen as a W to some for Tyreek.
You made some really good points. So you are in on some, out on others. I need you to commit, but I'll tell you what I am. I am out. I am all the way out. And listen, 10.15, like I said, is hauling tail. Like for a man who has not run the 100 or done any sprints since 2012, that's like 13 years. That is impressive. But the idea or the fact that you will take a piece of paper, or whatever the heck you held up, and call out the reigning world, you're brave. And you're rude and you're disrespectful and rip up that paper because you don't even stand a chance. Like to me, if you had gone 9.9, 9-8. Then you go and do your scribble and you call out Noah Lyles. 10-1-5, I just don't think it's respectable enough really to take him seriously as a legitimate threat against Noah Lyles. Listen, Noah is somewhere in the corner looking at this and just literally laughing. He's doing the villain laugh. Ha, 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 ha. He doesn't care about this.
I mean, I think he likes the publicity for
True,
sure. And
true.
they both can benefit from being in the news because right now, for better, for worse, everybody's talking about this race, and this race that never is, or hasn't happened isn't going to happen right now when it was supposed to, because it was supposed to be this weekend, I believe.
Yeah.
And I think, Tyreek has nothing to lose. Being able to say, I went toe to toe with the fastest man in the world, or the Olympic champion, that's a position for him to be like, I have nothing to lose. If I lose, this is your guy that's supposed to be number one. If I win, I'm the fastest guy on the planet, and I'm a football player. So,
But
I think these situations are never good for the person who has more to lose, and
Which
that's
is
Noah Lyles
Noah.
in this situation.
Which is
Exactly.
Noah,
Like
but here's-
imagine if it was reversed, and Noah was going on to play football, and he was guarding Tyreek. If he stops him even a little bit, if Tyreek drops the ball even for a second, even if Noah didn't do anything to do that, it's embarrassing for Tyreek because he's supposed to be the professional, and this is his neck of the woods.
So I don't even think Noah needs to be doing this. I wouldn't sign up to race this man at all. I wouldn't even dignify this with a response or a matchup or whatever. I'm glad your personal reason came up, but we don't even know, and I don't actually even believe that Tyreek Hill is even the fastest Miami Dolphin. Like, real talk. I don't even think he's the fastest, right? So I think there's other people on his team that would beat him. Now, a friend of ours, Anson Henry, we know him really well, fellow Olympian, Canadian, he said, if Tyreek wins, then track and field is done. It is over. Do you take that same approach? Like, could be a devastating thing for not only Noah Lyles, but it could make a mockery of our sport entirely?
It's a little hyperbolic, but honestly,
That's Anson. That's Anson for you.
Yeah, that's Anson for you. Gotta love him. But I see his point. In terms of our image, in terms of respect from other people who are not track and field aficionados, the people who casually watch only every 4 years, if they see this, they're going to be like, I have no reason to tune in to see who's the fastest in between the Olympic years, because our guy over here who's just playing football just walked into your arena and smoked your allegedly best guy. So he's right in the sense that our image would take a hit. And that's why I think it's good that this didn't happen, because when Noah raced Speed, even though Noah wasn't trying his best, the fact that Speed was even close, and he's just an influencer,
Right.
he's just out here making videos, clowning around. And the fact that he had him for a little bit at the start and jumped him a little bit, people in the comments were like, oh, wow, if Speed actually trained,
True.
he could go to the 2028 Olympics. And then you got Speed saying, yeah, I'm going to go to the Olympics as if he could just walk in. And he said he's going to run the 60 at the Olympics. Like, clearly, he doesn't know what he's talking about. There's no 60 at the Olympics. But he's thinking now, oh, yeah, that's your best guy. If I'm this close, if I train a little bit harder, I could win. And that just destroys the credibility of the rest of the sport, because we have a lot of guys with a lot of talent who could do a lot of great things and have a lot of speed, and we want our respect. And so we don't need anything that's going to destroy that credibility and make us look less than what we deserve.
Totally agree with that point. So we are both out. I would say, Noah, don't do it. Not at 60, not at 61, not at 101, not at 99. Don't do it. Leave it alone, and we'll leave it there.
Unless it's the big payday. Go get your money, make it easy.
No,
and smoke 'em,
Aaron.
but
No,
hey,
Aaron. Not
hey,
for
if
$1,
you-
not for 10,000, not for 100.
100 stacks.
For
And
the
all you got to
whole-
do is beat a football player.
To put the whole sport in disrepute? No. You should run against him. You know what? Someone get me Tyreek Hill's number. Aaron Brown is going to race him next weekend, and I'm going to set it up.
You
Deal?
got the money to come with it?
I got $5.
Oh, no. See, it's not.
See?
No, I'm out
See?
on that. There's no in or out on that. I'm out. $5 is not enough.
Oh my. You already know what time it is. It's shout out time. Okay, so on a weekend filled with so many outstanding achievements, none were better than Borden, Saskatchewan's own Savannah Sutherland. Yes, I said what I said. Find me in the comments. None. The 21-year-old Michigan University standout shattered the NCAA 400-meter hurdle record with a staggering time of 52.46 seconds, almost 0.3 of a second faster than the old mark set by Sydney McLaughlin-Navroni. Who? Yes, that's Sydney, the world record holder Sydney. Savannah became only the second woman ever to break 53 seconds at NCAAs. Her time is also a new Canadian record, number 2 in the world, and the 9th fastest all time. Woo! Aaron Brown. I mean,
Smoking. Anytime you're mentioned with Sydney McLaughlin or Levroni, you're doing something historic. Okay, breaking her
Right?
record. That's next level stuff. And to be top 10 all time, that's everybody, not just the people this year. All time, you're chasing the ghost. Everybody, and she's number
Everybody.
9 to ever run it. Special
Major.
stuff. So huge shout out to
Special.
her.
Shout out, girl. Okay, so we're halfway through the Diamond League season, and our next stop in Paris promises to entertain. The lineup includes Olympic champion Rai Benjamin, 3-time world champion Grant Holloway, and the queen of discus, American Valerie Allman, headlines the field events. Join us on CBC Gem this Friday, starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. And that is a wrap for us on episode 6. AB, I gotta shout you out though. Thank you for hooking us up with Melissa. That was awesome.
I do what I do. I know the best people. I train with a great group, and we had Kenny come on the show. Now we got Melissa Jefferson-Wooden. I gotta come with it. I gotta bring some surprises to Trackside. You never know who's gonna pop up.
Now you're really tooting your own horn, but I like it. I dig it. Confidence. Listen, I have a real fun time doing this with you every week. It is so incredible, and I keep saying it. We're just warming up, people. So we'll see you.
We're just getting started. We're just getting warmed up.
We're just getting warmed up. That's it. So we'll see you every single Thursday here on CBC Sports YouTube channel, 10 a.m. ET. We'll see you next time.